since we're all done with wheat harvest and we're still a couple weeks out on beans, let's do some irrigating. I'm here this morning. I gotta turn this pivot off of corn, put it back into my beans. So that's what we're gonna do this morning. Switch sprinklers, and we gotta change some flood. What do you think, Autumn? Got my road all wet. If I didn't have a flat tire on the four-wheeler, this would be a lot easier. I don't really want to get my pickup all muddy. I might walk to the center. I got a nice pivot road over there. Well, it would have been great if we could have been here a couple hours earlier and the pivot would have been in front of the pivot road. So I could have just drove right down here, but I didn't want to track this all up. It's still pretty smooth, and like I said, I've actually kept my pickup fairly clean this year, so I guess we'd like to keep it that way. This corn's looking pretty good though. We actually have 3 ears on this crop. I mean, this little one's not going to make any, but we'll probably get a half a ear and a full ear out of this. This side's got at least 2. I believe, if I remember right, this is a variety change here. I think this side's one variety and this side's another, so we'll see it in the combines, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure everybody out east is thinking, or south, thinking this corn's really short, and you know it's a little short for us this year also, but we just don't have the growing season or the humidity that most farmers have out east and south, so our corn never really gets very tall, and we don't get those bin buster yields either, but we still have to grow some corn. Got lots of feedlots around us, so it is what it is in Wheatland, Wyoming. The dog's getting all muddy already. That's good. Wow, I'm surprised how easily that started. I don't even have a bunch of plug nozzles here. Now the tricky part will be if that end nozzle is plugged or not. That's the one that usually gets plugged. I brought my drone with me today. I think we'll fly across this. There's a field of pinto beans here. They're getting pretty tall. We're getting pretty close. Here, I'll show you. So these are a different variety than we've ever done. These are kind of more of an upright, which we don't usually do, but they are very tall. I mean, up to my knee here. And you can see we've got blooms. It doesn't look like it's blooming really, like looking out over it, but they're all underneath kind of. We got blooms. And then let's see. Man, look at all them pods on there. They're a little ways away. Autumn? Hey, not helping. These ones are a little ways away. These are some of the last ones planted. Hey! Damn dog, scared the shit out of me. But it looks like here's a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 beans in a pod, that's not bad. We'd rather have like 7, but 6 is pretty good. You missed it. All that and you missed it. Okay, let's get out the drone. Let's just see. Well, now that we've got the sprinkler going, we need to get some flood water set. Coincidentally, it's right in the same corner that the sprinkler's running. And right there. Okay. I don't know if anybody's really been around this flood irrigating, but all this pipe here, we call this gated pipe. We go through with the ditcher and make a irrigation ditch every other row, if that makes sense. So what this is doing is you're literally flooding this ditch, and that water is going to soak into both rows. And this is actually, you have a lot of wastewater in this, but at the same time, this ground will soak and it'll hold moisture longer than a sprinkler. If we ran a sprinkler around once, it'd be dry the next day. Like, you have to keep running a sprinkler around and around and around. This stuff, you know, you can only do sections, so I'm doing probably, I don't know, 25 rows, let's say. From the plug to right there is all I can run. And so now I'll have to go through, shut all these gates, open up 25 more, because you only have so much pressure in a pipe. Anyways, you can only run so many rows at a time, yes. But these rows will stay wet for 4 or 5 days now after just 12 hours of irrigating. So we usually change our sets every 12 hours. So morning and night we'll come change gates. We call this gated pipe because it quite literally has gates on the pipe. So you go through and you can shut them. You can open them as far as that's wide open. On the really short rows, sometimes you're literally doing that. because it sits there for 12 hours. But those are the really short rows. That's majority rows. That's a pretty decent row. And that's a row you just can't get watered down. You just have to push it all. But the wider you're opening your gates, the less gates, or the less rows that you're going to be able to get open at one time. Very simple. Very simple. You know, oh, what's the word? Form of irrigating. But it's been working for many, many years. And this is what we have to use on our corners. Because, like here, I mean, everything used to be square sections. Everything used to be square sections. This whole farm used to be flood irrigated until somebody put in a pivot. So now you got a perfect circle in the middle, and then the flooding takes care of the corners. If you know what I mean, a square, you put a circle in the middle of it, you're gonna have corners. So this is what we have to do for all those corners. Autumn, you want out, dog? All right, we'll grab the shovel, get some rows changed. I usually like to open gates and then close gates so that we don't overpressure everything. Just kind of depends. It works a lot faster if you have two people, because you can, one person can close while the other one opens. This just takes a little bit more walking and everything, but it's fine. It's getting a little warm. I think we might have to take off the jacket. It's 55 degrees this morning. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, it is August 30th today. August 30th. I'm guessing by September 10th, we'll be cutting beans full-fledged, or just getting started, I don't know. And silage will be right along with it, so it's coming up fast. Coming up fast. Okay, we're on a little change of pace here now. Yesterday I worked on this truck, serviced it, you know, fuel, oil, blah blah blah. Went to adjust the brakes. This slack adjuster was messed up. The adjustment screw was actually not even, like, I could pull the adjustment screw out of the slack adjuster. If you don't know what a slack adjuster is, let me show you. Oh, I gotta crawl all the way underneath this. There you go. Brand new slack adjuster. Now we should have good brakes on the truck. Always gotta check your brakes, especially when you got other people running your stuff. But it's safety, people. Gotta do some safety. Had to change, or had to fix this hose here on the wet kit for this truck. If you're doing anything with your hydraulics for the box, you should make sure to block it. Make sure you're not gonna die, you know? Safety. But everything should be good on this old girl. Ready to roll out now. And we have two of these trucks, almost identical. Had to get it ready for silage. We don't do any silage ourselves, but we help some of the ranchers that we farm for. We usually throw these trucks in for more truck drivers, I guess. So, let's see, what else? We need to get our bean cutters out and get them worked on, I should say. So that's probably also what we're going to do today. And then, let's see, what else we got to do. I mean, we've been just doing a lot of shop work. I serviced the twin to this truck the other day, so it's done. Didn't see any other problems. Oh, I do actually have something for you guys. During wheat harvest, we had a little mishap with our service pickup. If you guys, this is going to be for sale here. So if you guys want this, you should let me know. The only thing, we might keep the welder. We're going to keep the torch set. Depending on what we get as a replacement, may or may not keep the crane. But if we're looking for a service pickup, I'm hoping we find one with the crane on it. But this is a 12 valve Cummins automatic transmission. But here's our problem is, no gap right there. Big gap right there. Our frame literally bent right here. Somebody else has already welded on it before, which we did not know until we crawled underneath to look at it. So the frame is cracked on the top and it's bent, buckled out. This is a good running vehicle. I mean, just the frame's a little bent, or a lot of bent. The problem is we just have too much weight in this thing. I mean, got a lot of tools in it. It probably looks a lot worse in person than it does on camera. But got tools in it, probably 300-400 gallons worth of diesel fuel that we can put in it. And that's probably what happened, is had it clear full of diesel fuel, hit a bump, and it just creaked. So if you guys want it, let me know. It's gonna be a project. It's something that can be fixed. Everything is fixable. It's just how much work and time you want to put into it. So if you're wanting a 12 valve swaps, if you want to diesel swap something, there you go. With a 12 valve, that's your best candidate right there, because I'd have to look at how many miles are on it, but it's got a decent amount of miles on it. But it's got all the electronic stuff that you need to make it run right there in the pickup. So if you're looking for a 12 valve, let me know. I got one for you. Well, we got one bean cutter put on. This is Dad's bean cutter. It's still in the shed. Got to get it picked up, but we got mine put on, and we got the front weights taken off this front 3-point. We got my front cutter put on. We still have to take the duals off this tractor, but that looks pretty awesome with the duals, honestly. I wish we could keep them on. He's so much more stable too. It was nice to get back in this tractor. It's been a while. Looks good. Gotta put our nose cones back on here. Have to go through. I had apparently lost a pin here. I don't remember that. Just gotta check through everything, make sure all of our bearings are good, and we're gonna have to change quite a few of these points. Hey, look, 1, 2, there's 3 of them right there that are gone. So, yep, gotta go through some points, make sure everything is ready to roll. But that's one bean cutter out of the shed, so we're getting somewhere. Okay, I've been really bad. I forgot to do anything with working on these bean cutters. But bean cutters are done for the most part. We've got a couple of little points we gotta put on, but this is Dad's bean cutter. We just got it done. I got mine done a couple days ago. Mine is completely done. I got my duals pulled off, everything's greased, everything's checked, oil changed. Let me show you. We changed points. Well, of course, there's no teeth here that are brand new, but we had to spin this pickup head around, change all the points, checking bearings, all the good stuff. So yeah, this one is done, and mine is done. It is really bright out there. I need to change the oil in this tractor, but besides that, I think, crossing my fingers, bean cutters are ready to go, and we should be cutting some beans next week, maybe. So we're gonna find out, as long as everything's happy. But yeah, I dropped the ball. So you cut from us getting bean cutters out, well, mine anyways, to both of them finished. Look at that. It's just like snap a finger. Everything's done. It's beautiful. I wish it was that easy, but it's okay. It's okay. Next time you guys can help me. It is an absolute train wreck in the shop right now, though. I mean, Dad was dumping all of his beans on the ground. I got hoses and cords everywhere. Just not enough room in this damn shop. I don't know, honestly, I don't know if a bigger shop would help us keep it cleaner, or if it would just cause more stuff to get in and then just take twice as long to clean it. But nevertheless, we usually get by. I turned it around so I could maybe change oil a little bit easier. I didn't want to do it out in the sun. And then I can close down the door, get a little bit cooler in here. Well, I think bean cutters are ready to go, like I said. Tell me why the front end of this tractor, it'll go down but not up on remote 1, but on remote 2 it will. And so I know what you're going to say, well, you need to rebuild the first remote. Well, it works great on the disc. The first remote works good on the disc, you know, up and down. And so I put the drive for the bean cutter on number 1 because it wasn't working for the front end, and that works both directions. If you had an extra remote, I'd just avoid number 1, but so we have the cutter, front end, left side, right side, because you can move these gauge wheels hydraulically. So I don't know, it's set up a little different than mine, but that's the only way I could get it to work. I think everything is ready to go. This tractor is kind of ugly with singles on. Well, all tractors are kind of ugly with singles on, but this one especially because it's got these mud guards, so it sticks out a long ways. But this one's got front end drive motors, left, right side. I've got an extra cylinder there, Dad. But yeah, everything is ready to go for bean cutting. I don't know. I'm hoping there's another video here between this and cutting beans. This one was kind of all over the place, I know, but that's just what's going on right now. So I'm going to go clean the shop because it is a disaster zone, as you've seen. So we're going to get that cleaned up, and then maybe I'll work on some more junk.